This is from the King James Bible. Um, the book of John, chapter 8, verse 44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar, and the father of it. In other words, the father of all lies. But the important part of this verse is that God is telling humans, you are of your father the devil. And you do the things, you lust just as the devil does. And you're a lot like him, is basically what God is telling humans. And this speaks to this thing that I've been talking about recently of the self and sort of like the fake self and the real self. The fake self being the ego, or what some people call an avatar, right? And it speaks to this idea that all thoughts are lies. And that a person should get rid of all thought. Let go of it. And what you're left with once you let go is pure light, the light of God. And that's what we are. Some people think they have an identity, like, I'm a family man. I'm a loving husband and father. Or someone might say, I'm a loving wife and mother. Or I'm a banker. I'm an airplane pilot. These are just really just meaningless things. They don't carry anything because they're not real. The only thing that's real is the light of God. And that's deep inside all of us, underneath all this thought and emotion. Okay, so now we're going to read from the book of Isaiah. Isaiah 55, verses 8 and 9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Okay, and once again, this is God kind of admonishing humans, don't be thinking that you're like me. Don't be thinking that I sit around thinking the thoughts that you think. Okay, we're not alike. And just like heaven is different from earth, I'm different than you. Until you drop your anger and let go of thoughts, we're not thinking the same thoughts. We're not alike. You humans are of your father, the devil, the father of your fake self. But deep inside, God is our Father. Deep inside, there's light. So forgiveness is crucial. It's much easier to forgive when you realize that those thoughts aren't your own. Our thoughts are not our own. To know that someone who may have done you wrong, they didn't really do you wrong. It was their fake front self doing your fake front self wrong. Underneath, you're light, and so are they. And forgiveness is crucial. It starts with the parents, and then it ends up with a person forgiving everyone. Romans 12:2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. And this speaks again to the idea of letting go of one's thoughts, letting go completely, because they all come from the devil. And the devil is the father of our fake front selves. Renewing the mind means getting rid of those thoughts, letting go, and ideally never having another thought for the rest of your life. The rest of your life will just be doing